Welcome to Grown Folk Talking. Express yourself. The podcast will begin momentarily.
Please announce yourself.
Part with us this evening. We really appreciate you for tuning in. Now, as customary and as usual, I got to give a few shout outs, my friends. For those of you who are new, just bear with us. It's only going to take us a minute to get this through. And then I guarantee we're going to get right into the podcast this evening. So, for all of those of you that are returning and new, you know how we do. Here it goes. We want to give a shout out to some local businesses that support this podcast. We got to let you know who they are. So you can go take a look, check them out, visit them when you get right here in the downtown North Brick City area. First on the list, top of the list, we got Connell's Restaurant. They're located 16 Clinton Street, right here, North New Jersey, right around the corner from the Prudential Center, diagonally across from the Prudential Insurance Building on Broad Street. Just come down Clinton Street. It's on your left-hand side, underneath the scaffold to your left-hand side where that building is. Number 16 is right next to a parking lot. Connell's Restaurant, I'm telling you, they got the mouth-watering cuisine. They got the music playing. It's some of the best I've ever seen, and the hospitality is second to none. When you go inside, my friends, guess what? Tell them that Walter sent you, and you heard about their restaurant on the podcast. Ask for Alex and Sylvia. That's right. They are the owner-operator of the businesses there. And guess what? You can dine in their dining room, which is very cozy and comfortable, or you can take it to go. They also have DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, they got Postmates, all of those other services to make sure that you get your order if you can't stay. And guess what? If you're close enough, they'll bring it to you themselves. That's right, service with a smile every day. Connell's Restaurant, open from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Check them out, my friends. Also, we got the Fruit House located at 764 Broad Street. We got the lovely team of Johan and Isamar right there, proprietors extraordinaire. They've got smoothies. They've got natural juices that they squeeze themselves. They got sea moss. They got spices. They've got herbs. So go inside, get yourself some healthy products, drinks, and other things to bolster your mood right there, 764 Broad Street. You can't lose with the Food House. Also, we got Halsey News located at 2 Prudential Drive. That's right, my friends. For your commute, to keep you up and lively, stop in, have yourself a nice cup of coffee, a nice cup of tea, maybe something to get you going in the morning on your way to your destination. Monday to Friday nights at 5. The proprietor, Shahida, would love to see you live, meet and greet you. That's right. Say hello to Shahida on your way and back from work at Halsey News 2 Prudential Drive right here in Newark, New Jersey. Also, she has some very unique pastries. She's got this week coming, I believe, it's apple caramel cheesecake cups. I had one last week. I tell you, usually I don't eat cheesecake, but I tell you, I whooped that thing down and wish I had another one. So I tell you, go there. Let her know you heard about her on the podcast as well. She'll be glad to say hello to you, and she's very hospitable as well. Good conversationalist. You'll love to talk to her right there at 2 Prudential Drive, Halsey News. And our newest member to our local businesses that support this podcast. For those of you who love the taste of the Caribbean, go to AJ's Caribbean Taste, 150 Halsey Street, Newark, New Jersey. They're right at the bottom of the Prudential Insurance Building on Broad Street at the corner of Bank and Halsey. Just go right up the ramp. Go right in. I'm telling you, you smell the oxtails, you smell the jerk, you smell the curry, you smell the vegetables. Oh, my goodness. I tell you, I walked in and fell right into heaven. I'm telling you, you'll love them in there. Also, let them know you heard about them on the podcast. That's right. Let them know you came in because you heard about them on the podcast. That's right. So those are local businesses that love and support this podcast. So we had to give them a shout out and let you know where they are. And last but not least, we just got a couple of websites that you need to know about. Number one is networkingforsuccess.info. And hit that with a /Grooveology-360. That is a thank you page, a gift page for all of you that come and listen to us. Just click on that link at the top, pull it down. It should drop down for you already. You'll see a spread of offers there, some that are very good for you, some that you might want to try. So check it out. And just for coming by, we make that available to you. Our way of saying thank you for stopping in and spending some time with us. Also, liquidmana.com. That's Mana spelled M-A-N-N like Nancy, A.com. Oxygen-rich water I tell you, so many parts per million in this water. I tell you, it's energizing, it's refreshing, it's hydrating, and it's powerful. I tell you, there's so many things that this thing does. I cook with it. I clean my food with it. I drink it. I make coffee, tea, juice with it. I'm telling you, it makes things change. And I'll tell you what, I sit it in my refrigerator, and I can tell you, some of my stuff seems to last a little bit longer. I don't know if it has something to do with that water or not, but I'll tell you, I'm going to find out and let you guys know. But liquidmana.com. And when you get ready to check out, use this discount code. It's GTF2025. We worked it out with the owners of the company. And for being on the Grown Folk Talking Network, you get that discount. When you go to check out, it takes a percentage off your order. GTF2025. It's all yours, all right? Need me to say it again, I'll say it during the podcast. And we got ProLogicStrategies.com. I sent that out in the notification. Everybody, make sure you create your account today at ProLogicStrategies.com. FloFokuz is the proprietor of that website. Get in while you get in right now. He's under development with some things, but he's got a lot of things working right now for you, such as the newsroom with all the press releases of the upcoming events, the events that we've attended, all of our podcast recordings on social media, also announcements. And hey, guess what? If you've got something that you want to announce, you want to get out there to the public, you want people to be able to come to a site, land, and see, check out ProLogicStrategies.com. Talk to FloFokuz by email, by chat, or by phone. All on the website. Create your free account today and also get 2,000 bonus points. As a matter of fact, he doubled it to 4,000 for the Flip Side Friday, 5th Friday of this month. So those of you who are new, I'll tell you what, it's something that you don't want to miss, something that you want to be in tune with. Invite all your friends because that is the Friday that we give away prizes. We have a fun time. You answer trivia questions. We play some games. You win prizes, and you never know. We might have some awesome bonus prizes, so make sure you get those bonus points, all right? And last but not least, I want to let you know about BearCatBody.com. That's right, BearCatBody.com. Lovely Leslie Wright. I tell you, this woman is phenomenal out of sight. The products on her website are second to none. You got to check them out, my friends. Come one. She's got products for eye health. I tell you, she was here with us in New Jersey live just about 2 months ago. And some of those on Grown Folk Talking to let you know. She was very thorough. She was upfront. She was honest. And guess what she did? She gave out product just to help people with their eye condition. Said, here, you take a gander and try this. I tell you, she was very, very upfront, transparent, and honest with everybody and took time with everybody to find out what you're going through so she can best see how to help you. So I tell you what, she has a phenomenal testimony and a phenomenal journey. Check out her website for more products and more testimonials and her presence on social media as well at BearCatBody.com. That's Bear spelled B-A-R-E. Once again, thank you, my friends, for listening to us in that announcement segment. We got that all out of the way now. And if you ever want to have something announced here on this podcast, please get with me by text message, the same message that you got the notifications on, and we can talk about it. We can talk about it and make it happen. Also, hit FloFokuz at ProLogicStrategies.com. Now, my friends, it's time for us to start the podcast. Thank you for being with us tonight. This is going to be one podcast I hope that you're going to like, because this podcast, moving forward, is dedicated on Mondays for a time to come for those who are under the umbrella of disability, physical or mental or cognitive, and specifically, we emphasize on vision loss. Now, tonight, what we want to bring you is we want to bring you this podcast as a forum. And I'll tell you why. And we have a topic tonight. We want to deal with transportation. And those of us here in the New Jersey area, we know that we have our transportation through New Jersey Transit, which we are very grateful for Access Link and all of the additions that they've made to help to accommodate us. However, there's something that is impending that could be detrimental to part of that service that we receive. So we'll be talking about that tonight, as well as some things that may be on your minds, okay? And the reason why this is your forum tonight is because I don't know about you, but as long as I have been under vision loss in this community, and I have had my own issues and my own challenges, it seems that more times than not, people don't listen. They don't care to listen. They don't want to hear what's going on with us. And 9 times out of 10, people forget what we even came to them for. And a lot of times they even forget that we're under vision loss. I've had that happen a number of times where people have seen me up front and in person, or I've talked to them and specifically mentioned to them over the phone that I'm under the umbrella of vision loss, and they're telling me to go and read something. Or they're asking me to take down a phone number and asking me to get a pen and a piece of paper to write something down. And I have had to remind people several times, can you tell me how somebody who's blind can do that? And then it hits their memory as though, oh my God, I forgot. But yeah, I just told you 2 minutes ago. Or I told you several times when we were on the phone, I made the introduction so that you would not be taken by surprise. So these are some other things that I think are worth mentioning, because that's an issue of sensitivity and also attentiveness. You know, there are even some times when we who are under vision loss, we have things that are set up a certain way because they work for us. They work good for us the way that we have them. Because remember, we don't have complete use of vision as most sighted people do, because we're under vision loss. But there are some times when, you know, people will move things out of place because, you know, they move things out of place, but they don't always put them back where they moved them from. And so there are some times when we're frustrated because we're looking for something that should be in a space where we know we've had it all the time, because that's the way that we do. We deal a lot more with placement and with memory. And we can't locate something that we know was here before. And that also deals to attentiveness, sensitivity, and consideration. So today, we want to welcome you to From Poverty to Prosperity podcast with the Xtra-Hype Connection on the Grown Folk Talking Network. Our conversation today is with regard to issues that can impact us in a very strong way and create hardships if we do not address the issues directly. Now, I'm going to tell you what it is that is on my mind tonight. And throughout the podcast, I'm going to open up the floor so that we can have a conversation based on tonight's information. And if you also have a testimony, if you have something to consider, if you have a thought, if you have a question, a comment, if you have information to share, we're open. We want you to have your voice heard. We want to let you know here tonight. This is not just a formality. This is for your voice to be heard. Why? Because the issues that face us are not always paid attention to or resolved, and very rarely do we receive the satisfaction that we deserve to receive. So tonight, your voice will be heard. You will be heard. You will not be brushed off as though you're insignificant, but you will be heard and your points will be duly noted. And what we want to do is we want to bring you a topic first that maybe all of us can agree on, that we do need to address this, and then consider how to address it and work on solutions that will work in our favor and for our benefit for as long can be. Okay? We don't want to take second chair and second best. We don't want that. That's not for us. We're just as important as everybody else. And we want to work together so that we can move as a united front so that everybody else can know that we are just as significant as the next person. Okay? So, with that being said, here in New Jersey, most of us who are under the umbrella of vision loss, we'll deal with that right now. We use our service provided by New Jersey Transit, and we know that this is Access Link. And we know, those of us who have used Access Link for any length of time know that there are times when Access Link is not prompt, it's not on time, very late, and sometimes they even may not come to pick us up for quite a while. I've experienced this myself, and I'm quite sure that those of you on this line tonight who have taken this service have experienced those shortcomings as well. And that's not to say that the service is not valuable, because it is. And that's not to complain about the service, for its shortcomings, because there are shortcomings in everything. However, along with that, we know that Access Link provided an option for all of us to be able to have a rideshare service, specifically Uber and Lyft, to accommodate us in those times when, let's say, the drivers could be running late, or maybe there were not enough drivers working that day to pick up all of the people that needed rides. So they gave us a rideshare option, which we were very, very grateful for, and a lot of us were excited about. I know I was. And they set us up initially with, a pilot. Basically, try this out and see how you guys like it. And of course, most of us said, yeah, give it here. That's a gimme. We want this, sure. And we had, for the first month or so, we had, a nice free ride. And we knew that wasn't going to last, but yeah, we book it, and, we tell them where we want to go and write in the app, and there we go, we're off. Everything taken care of, and we loved it. And we had 20 rides in each service every month, gave us a total of 40 rides to choose from. So that's great. For those of us that need to travel, that works. It works very well. And so then they made some slight changes over time gradually. We got a small portion to pay, which was, not much. So it wasn't a great, setback or hardship, comparable to access link prices. Okay, no problem. And the coverage, by New Jersey Transit, up to a certain amount was great. And anything over that, of course, we would have to pay for it out of our own pocket, but, that was still okay. So we had timing, which was 24 hours at first, and then they dropped it down from 24 hours to 15 hours. And that was kind of wishy-washy, kind of like making you think about what's going on with this. We had a 24-hour clock because the service is 24 hours, and so is Access Link. But they dropped it down to 15, so 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. in certain regions, maybe less in other regions. But, that was kind of peculiar. But, okay, all right, no problem. Still had 20 rides, still had a small amount to pay, and transit covered up to a certain amount. Great. But then we got something that was a big announcement, and a proposal. And the proposal was this: all new riders to the rideshare program through the Lyft and Uber services, we're going to give you 10 rides on each service per month. Taking away half. And this goes into effect for new riders immediately because they had to open the rideshare program back up to new riders. They didn't have it open for a while. But then something else came, which is very interesting, where the notice also proposed that riders who were already enrolled in the rideshare program with Lyft and Uber through New Jersey Transit Access Link service would experience the same reduction to service come January of 2026. So those of us who were already utilizing the service with our 20 rides a month per each service, Lyft and Uber, 40 rides a month, will experience a reduction to the number of rides that we are able to utilize come January 2026, which will be the same as the new riders, which will be 10 rides per rideshare service, which would be 20 rides per month. Now, that's not even comparable to what we have at this point, which creates a severe reduction because they're cutting out 50% of what we already enjoy by agreement, okay? And my thought, and this is just my opinion, but I say this as an almost firm opinion because I have seen the way the trends go in business and negotiations. Once certain things are taken off of the table that were already there, and nobody actually puts up any kind of opposition or any kind of, let's just say, stop to this, other things seem to go gradually as well. And so basically it's not even worth having anymore, or there is none anymore. And it's usually not replaced with anything that's much better. It's usually a lot less in quality and value. So, with that being said, I recognize that this particular proposal and this particular notice to the users, the Access Link riders who utilize the rideshare, Lyft, and Uber services, were given time to make a rebuttal or what we would like to call a counter offer in negotiations. Now, of course, they're not going to spell this out because usually they would expect us to just sit and wait for things to just change hands. change clothes, basically, change service. Well, just to let everybody know, we have until the end of this year to make a counter offer, which is to let it be known what our position is with regard to the agreement that we're already under, which can be binding, which is binding, but will take another turn and will be adjusted if we just stay mute, say nothing, show no interest, no rebuttal, no counter offer. After the time period lapses, which they've given us 90 days, which is usually customary in most agreements, if we put nothing out there, we get nothing in return. And if we decide to do this as a concerted effort, as a collective, I think we get more acknowledgement because we are more powerful in numbers joined together than we are as single entities divided. I believe that united we stand strong, divided we stand conquered. So, we know that our ride benefits, they may not be the greatest benefits, but they are good for now. They work for our purposes, and they do serve us better than what we were experiencing. But my question tonight is, do we want to keep those benefits? Do we want to make a case for the fact that, no, we don't want to have these benefits reduced? No, we don't want to give you the option to take away what we already have and then think that that's okay. Do we really want that to be the case where we can just let somebody just take whatever they want to take from us? Or do we want to let our voices, as we want to have them heard tonight, be heard to those who are, quote unquote, trying to make an executive decision but can't without our permission? And yes, that is true. They need our permission to do this. So, I will open up the floor at this time. Comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, input. You have it. We're here to listen. We want you to be heard tonight. We encourage you to speak up tonight. Let it be known. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about this situation? Where do you think it could go if we say nothing? And where do you think it can go if we do speak up and let it be known as to what we will and will not accept? So, my friends, the floor is open. Don't everybody speak at one time. Just please let it be known that you'd like to speak, and you have the floor. Floor is
Hello,
open.
this is Joffrey.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, nothing beats a failure but a try. If we do nothing, then nothing good comes of this. But if we do indeed join forces in, let's say, a drafting or crafting a proposal that can be issued to them independently and or collectively, then perhaps we will hold on to that which we have, or at least, if they're talking about cutting it in half, well, maybe we can get less of a reduction and less of an increase in the price that we have to pay. And I yield.
Good point, good point. Yes, indeed. As a matter of fact, their price did go up, just a couple of percentage points just recently. So, yeah, they're getting an increase. But should we really accept a decrease? Interesting. Someone else have anything to add? Anything, comments, questions? The floor is open. Floor is open. Okay. Floor is open. If you're on mute, just hit your unmute on your phone.
Good evening.
Well, good evening to you. Good evening.
Well, thank you. Now, I'm in agreement with to Mr. Joffrey. Every year, New Jersey Transit is going up and up and up. And do we have to pay that price? I would say no. You shouldn't have to pay for that price. It's increasing, increasing. And it's getting very expensive. And we should have to lose out on New Jersey Transit, and we shouldn't have to be mistreated as well.
Deborah Edwards.
And I'm going to go on there and let someone else speak.
Well, thank you for chiming in with that.
And I have one more. Oh, go right ahead, Mom.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak over you. No, go right ahead.
No, you go, sweetheart. I can wait. You go.
I just want to say we are just sticking to this topic, correct, right?
Just for now, but we're going to do other topics as we move on. But this is at the top of the show, but we'll do some other topics once we move on.
That's all I have to say at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to make a point off of that as well before the next person comes in to speak what they have. She has a point. We are riders on the service. We do take this service. And every year it seems as though their prices do increase. Now, small increments, hasn't been anything drastic, but over the years it has increased. Now, I'll say this. The prices have increased, but the service has not caught up to what the price increase is. And what I mean by that? Well, there are times when your pickup may not be timely, and we know that happens. There may be times when you may never get picked up, and dispatch will tell you that, oh, your ride came and left. And you've been in the same spot for over 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, waiting to be picked up, waiting on hold to find out, where is your ride? And then they say, oh, you have a no-show, and you weren't in the spot. And the thing about it is, if someone has mobility issues, if someone has vision loss issues, where are they going? Except for where they need to be for a service that they need to depend on to take them from place to place. It just makes sense to me that way. And also, there are some times when the rides come extremely late. Extremely late. Hours late. I have actually experienced that. Hours late. From morning until it got dark. And here's the other thing that makes this, so insulting when they add insult to injury. They still expect you to pay for this ride that has come to get you late, has not come to pick you up at all, or has left you stranded for hours. And there is no call from the internal working office, who, by the way, always confirm a good phone number to reach us when they book our reservations, okay? But never call, no, I won't say never, rarely call that number to let us know what's going on with our ride, or if our ride is going to be late, or if the driver's having a problem, or if the equipment malfunctioned and broke down, or they have to send another ride to come and get us. But that rarely happens, and we seem to have to be the ones to call in because we have to advocate for ourselves and try to find out what's going on, and then we're greeted with an attitude. Some of the rudest comments I've ever heard, and the worst attitudes I've ever experienced, just asking for simple information as to, has my ride come and gone? Have I missed it? Is the ride late? Can you tell me anything about an estimate of time when they might pick me up? Or can you send me some other kind of arrangement to come and get me? And experience such rude or inconsiderate words and attitudes from people on the other end of the phone. So I am in agreement with the point that Latoya just made, that the price for their service goes up, but the quality of the customer service doesn't seem to match up with the increase that they want in the price. And even though it's not a lot, they still have thousands of us utilizing their services. So they are receiving an increase in whatever profits they may be taking home, but the service is not up to par with that. And then they want to reduce what we receive while they increase what they fill their coffers with. Now, somebody make that make sense to me. I mean, really, to me, that just don't make sense. Does it make sense to anybody else here? I didn't think it would, but okay. And also, I'm also grateful that they, have forums where we can, I guess, attend by Zoom, maybe even call in. I remember they used to be up front in person, but I believe that the last time they did that, or last few times they did that, people flooded the location and there was no room. People couldn't even get into the place because it was packed with so many people. And it wasn't because people were so happy and ready to meet these people who had made their lives such a greater experience or a brighter spot, but because people were generally disgruntled at how the service was being run, how unprofessional some of the people were, how many times people had gotten suspended due to no fault of their own from the ride services. This is a ride service that people need to take. So they want to suspend their ability to utilize a service that is a necessity, not a luxury, a necessity. So, as it was said earlier, I believe that one of the best things that we can do is, number one, have this information so that we can have this conversation. And I believe that our input here is valuable because we're heard here. We all hear each other. We all know what we're talking about, what we're dealing with, because it's affecting those of us who are connected with it and those who are connected to us, our family, our friends, some of us are co-workers, and those of us who have our assistants. Because sometimes these people do ride with us or accompany us to places or take us to places themselves when, our service just hasn't been up to par. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a few comments and maybe a few statements, whatever, or even some input from you, because we want to hear what you have to say. What is on your mind regarding this particular topic, And then we will move on to other topics that you all may have and may want to bring out, but you've never been heard. Although people may have been around, but maybe they haven't listened. And maybe you feel as though that may be whatever topic you may have, something that may have an effect on everybody else that we all should consider. So with that being said, anyone else who may have a comment or some input to add with respect to the transportation benefit through New Jersey Transit? Yes.
Yes, I do, Marcus. Now, regarding about New Jersey Transit, the transportation is horrible. Now, I actually stand outside for at least about an hour, if it was 2, just waiting on Access Link.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then the dispatcher actually called me and told me that the driver was probably like 5 minutes away. And then the driver came and beat the horn. And I'm actually flagging the driver down with my cane. Mm-hmm. And the driver's sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else can I actually do?
Right, right.
My legs was tired. And he's sitting there. Then he come out and say, how am I supposed to know that was you?
Wow. 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 Now that should not happen. That should never happen. You know, but I could say that she's not the only one. Because I've heard stories, and it's happened to me, where driver has quote unquote allegedly come to my location and blew the horn and announced. But I'm standing right outside of the pickup location, and nobody ever came and blew a horn and announced. I didn't even hear their vehicle. I know what it sounds like. Never came by. So I know that that has happened, and that's why we're here tonight to discuss what do we want to do. I mean, they're increasing their costs, but they want to reduce the service. I mean, the quality is not mediocre right now, but they want to reduce the service that we receive. So, would you?
Xtra-Hype.
Yes, indeed.
Xtra-Hype. This is Joffrey again.
Yeah, Joffrey.
Okay. This is to the ones that I invited. Access Link is paratransit, and so maybe you don't use it at present, but it's a good service for us who have who may be handicapped or disabled in some way to get to doctor's appointments and stuff like that. I mean, people go other places as well. So if you have a thought, I know you've never been here before, but if you have a thought, unmute yourself and share. And maybe what you put out there will get some answers back to you that will help the service be beneficial for you. And I yield.
Hi, this is Deborah Edwards. I just came in on the call. I was just trying to get the gist. This is about Access Link, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And welcome to our podcast, Ms. Deborah.
Thank you. I'm glad you sent me the info. This is very interesting. In terms of the Access Link, I have a question. Do they charge you for that service? And
yes,
if so, how do they charge for the service?
Yes, they do charge for the service. Mm-hmm. You can pay either by cash or you can pay electronically through a wallet that they have set up on a website.
It's a cost. It's a cost incurred. Can I ask what they charge? Is it based on where you're going? I mean, how do they do it? Is this just one set fee?
No. Their basic price right now, it just went up. It went up from, I think it was at one time it was 145, and then it went up to 165, and now it went up to 170 or 175 now just recently. And it's based on how far you are going to be traveling. So for a certain amount of, for a certain area or mileage, you have a base price. But if you're going to exceed that, then it's, a little bit more tacked on to your travel costs. If you have a PCA traveling with you, they ride for free. But if you bring a companion with you, then your companion also has to pay the same price as your ride.
I believe they go by zones, the same as the buses do. They have zones.
Okay. Zones. Now, how is that set up? You call them. Do you have a certain window you need to call them within for pickup and tell them where you're going, where your intentions are in terms of your route, so on and so forth?
Yes. You have to call at least one day in advance to schedule your transportation. At least one day in advance, and they take your reservation. And then they tell you what times that they have available for pickup to take you to where you want to go and to bring you back from where you want to be brought back from.
Oh, okay. So they pick you up, say, from home, and they bring you back to that spot of wherever you're living, okay?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
May I share something else? Okay. Because I just recently signed up. You have to qualify for the services. So that's a registration.
What qualifies you for the service?
Like I said, it's paratransit. It's paratransit. So like people who have a disability or people who are, what's that other word I use? You're handicapped, it's a service that's available to them. Or to us, I have to say. So you first have to call and register. Oh, there you go. Brother Leon.
Say that again?
Brother Leon will take over. Brother Leon.
Permission to speak, Marcus?
You got it, brother.
First thing I want to just ask your guest a question who just chimed in. First of all, never heard her voice before. You haven't, I guess, maybe, I don't know, but I have never heard her voice up here on any line, so I want to ask her a couple questions. And then I want to go back. I want to try to put some things in place. Access Link is a service that's ran by New Jersey Transit. That's number one. We all who catch it knows that. I don't want to take y'all down a rabbit hole, but the young lady that was asking the question, we all know now that she doesn't catch it by the questions that she's asking, because she's asking questions maybe for someone else or maybe for herself in the future. And I want to say this, nothing, and I mean nothing, is 100%. You're going to have flaws. And the flaws that Access Link have, unfortunately, those of us who take it, we suffer. And so when you have the power to be, which is New Jersey Transit, not Access Link, New Jersey Transit, what are you going to do? No one wants to go against New Jersey Transit. I can send you to a website to tell you some things about New Jersey Transit, but I'm not going to do that. But what I want to ask the young lady that was just talking, I believe her name was Deborah. I don't need to know her last name. I believe her name is Deborah. I want to ask you, Miss, do you drive?
No, presently I'm not driving. I get on public transportation, and I have seen New Jersey Access Link, and I know that people do catch it. I know that circumstances and policies change every now and again, but I was listening, even though I came on late. I heard the one woman say that she had to stand outside with her cane for an hour.
We all do that. We all go through that, Miss. A lot of us go through that, Miss, you know. And I'll say this about Access Link. That's ran by New Jersey Transit. So my question to you was, do you drive? So that means you used to drive, correct?
Well, my car is down right now. I still drive, but I just don't drive at the moment. No.
So here you go. This is where I'm going with that. That's all I need you to say. Doesn't matter whether your car is down or not. You drive, so you know how this goes. I don't know how old you are. I don't want to guess. I don't want to say, but I go back to when the gas prices went up, we had to go by license plate numbers, odds and evens.
Uh-huh.
How many people? So you do remember that, right?
I'm 68. I remember it well.
Good. That's what I like. I like a goddess that ain't got no problems telling how old she is. So here you go. Everything is a cost. Everything is going to go up. Nothing's going to stay the same. If you guys up here think that what we're talking about up here is something, wait till after November. Everything goes up. You know, the only thing that don't go up is your paycheck. And when they give us the cost of living, they take that from us by raising our rent. And so all I'm saying is nothing is perfect. And so you guys who don't know, there's more of us, and I'm going to use this word because I heard a word used that I don't agree with. There's more of us that's disabled. And that's how you get approved to be on Access Link.
Mm-hmm.
It's New Jersey Transit. You just have to be under the umbrella of being disabled. I don't know about that word handicap. I don't use that. You're blind. And guess what? You can be on there temporarily. You can actually be on there temporarily. Say you got hurt, you know, and you've been put out of work temporarily. You can actually sign up for that temporarily. That allows you to be on there also until you get better. They'll take you off. Sometimes they never take you off. You still stay on there, so you can still have that. My point to the conversation is prices go up because there are more of us that's under the umbrella of being disabled, no matter what your different ability may be, that will allow you to ride on that service, than it is of them. And this is why they have other programs that they're putting in place to try to, help it along, because they can't keep jobs. They don't pay nothing. A person could allow to take care of their family. There are a lot of people coming and going. The turnover rate is very high because and the way they do them about their hours. So a lot of these things take precedence over what we're talking about, speaking of. Nothing is going to stay the same. So we have to go with it, because what I was told in the beginning of my journey, my first journey with Access Link, was the worst. And just like somebody said, like Marcus said, he said he was standing outside, he was going somewhere else. That happened to me, my very first, and I was going to get assessed. I'm just saying, the prices are going up, the prices has gone up. They have other programs on there with their sharing Ubers and Lyft rides, and they had so many, and now they're taking some of them away. I don't know why, what the reason is, but at the end of the day, if that's all we have, what we're going to do? So I just wanted to just chime in to share just a little bit. I don't like to take up all the time and too much time, I don't like it when I hear it loud, so I just wanted to clear up some things that I heard. It is a cost. It's always going to be a cost. But you have in each county that you live in, each one of these counties, and I want to say it's 300 and something counties or maybe 500 something counties in New Jersey. Don't quote me on the numbers. It's either or. I just can't remember which one it is. And that each one of those counties have a service that will ride you around for free or a donation of $1. And so you have options, to do that. And I don't know not one county that don't have a service, that takes people around. Not unless you live somewhere, otherwise than that. And with that, I'll rest for now.
Well, thank you. Well, the point.
Good evening, everyone. I apologize, because I don't even know how to operate this thing to raise a hand or do whatever. So I sincerely apologize. But whoever was speaking, please continue.
Hi, this is Miss Edwards, Deborah Edwards again. To the gentleman, I thank you for that information. And the reason I asked, and let me just say I worked in public health for 21 years. And I'm very familiar with ADA policy. So when you say to me, and you mentioned that you had to stand outside for an hour, it sounds like you guys need to put together a formal letter to send forward to New Jersey Transit.
That has
been done. Again, I'm sorry?
That has been done. We've had I had a lawsuit filed with them. And we don't stand outside an hour all the time. It's every now and again, and that's because their turnover rate is so high. And their turnover rate is so high because they can't keep anybody because they don't pay anything over there. So then we're made to pay for that, the riders. We're made to pay for that. Yes, those things that you're talking about, I had a lawsuit against them for discrimination. And so nobody wants to really deal with going against New Jersey Transit. And so what you said is right. We do need to stand together or bond together. But like I said, they're just going to come up, with something else because I came across a website where they've always been, this is New Jersey Transit. We're not talking about Access Link. We're talking about New Jersey Transit, and when we're talking, I want y'all to understand that Access Link is being ran by New Jersey Transit, period. They have to follow their rules. And it's a shared ride, ladies and gentlemen. So you can get on that bus. See, forget standing outside. You can get on that bus and ride for an hour, 2 hours. You see what I'm saying? Because they label it, it's a shared ride. And so, what are you going to do? Yes, we can stand together, we can bond together, but the only way to do that is to get, a law firm, and no one wants to go up against New Jersey Transit. I've been there, done that. And so.
See, but when you're doing it on your own, when you start talking class action, you start talking different because that means it's a collective of people and not just one. Second of all, ADA, I don't know where your lawsuit was. Was it in Superior Court?
My lawsuit never even got off the ground. And
exactly.
You're right.
It should have went to the federal court because that's a federal law.
Okay. Listen, you have to go by procedure. I hear you know a lot. I hear what you're saying. And when I brought this lawsuit up, I also appealed to everybody else who had a complaint. And I had a number for everybody to call. So that's where it starts. It starts with us. So I understand how the law works, very familiar with the law. And you have to start from the lower side to get to the higher side. You just don't jump to the higher side. So when I found that not one person who's on this line complaining about Access Link or that number. And
Well,
how
that's an issue. Mm-hmm.
That's right. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying to you, I'm just saying to you and anybody else that's on this line listening, if we're going to complain about whatever, and the people who used to be on this line, not like yourself, they know what I'm talking about because I shared it with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared the number with them to the call, and not one person called. So that left me out there by myself, which made them turn down the lawsuit. So we have choices. Every county has a service that you can ride for free, or you can donate $1. We got choices. So when we talked about collectively staying together, when we talk about collectively talking about the law, you know, I've heard you. You've seen. I can tell just by listening to you, you know a lot, and I see that you're very intelligent. But you also have a lot of people up on this line that may be, or that is, just as knowing as you are, as myself and others that may be up here listening. And Deborah Alexander, you just came into the room and you said you didn't know how to raise your hand. I don't know if you called in. If you called in to this number, then it's the same as when you come on your line. Push *6 to mute yourself, *6 to unmute yourself, and just ask to come in and say something. You don't have to raise your hand. I don't know if you're here on the app or not.
No, I'm on the phone and everything like that, but I know sometimes I'm on certain line.
It's the same as yours. It's no different.
Oh, okay.
It's the same as yours. No different. *6. You want to charm me, you want to say something, you can just charm in and say something. Same thing.
Oh,
no
okay. No, I didn't want to be disrespectful, you know, well, it's like some people say, you know, now I'll do this or whatever. But anyway, no, thank you for that. No, 'cause I heard somebody say, is it okay, do I have permission to speak? So with that said, do I have permission to speak?
That was me. No, that was me. I always come on everybody, no matter whose line I'm on.
Oh, okay.
For permission to speak.
Well,
yes.
Let's let Ms. Edwards continue her thought here.
Yes. Go ahead.
Look for the floor.
No, the only reason I say that is because ADA, if you're disabled or handicapped or infirm, whatever the case may be, and I can say that in the city of Newark, that at the top of the Richter scale, when you start talking about the leading causes of death, you're talking about diabetes, hypertension, people are losing their vision, people are infirm because of strokes and that kind of thing. So that's very prevalent. Having options for Access Link, and I thought they were, and I knew about them a couple of years ago, and I really didn't hear a lot of complaints at that point. Everybody swore by it, I guess, until the pricing went up. And then it's probably the other issues like this gentleman said. But when you did the letter that went to New Jersey Transit, were there a lot of people that signed on to that letter?
No, and they wouldn't. And here's the thing. You know, you have to go through procedure. So I went through their procedure all the way up to I got a case number with New Jersey Transit. You know, these people don't care. It's about money. And so we have to do better collectively as a people. And my name is Brother Leon. You can call me Brother Leon.
Brother Leon.
Yes. And so like I said, I understood exactly what you're talking about. You know, collectively. And I know, like I said, I've never heard your voice. So you came up here through somebody else, whether it was Marcus or was Brother Johnson. Came up here through with. They know. They've heard this. They heard me speak about this on here and others and mine. No one called the number. If we want to complain about something, like you said, collectively, doesn't matter to me what color you are, what your gender is, what your job is, where you work. Collectively, we have to be together. So if we up here complaining, the opportunity was there. No one took it.
Well, I can tell you that in the former life I went up against New Jersey Transit, but it was a collective kind of issue, that it really wasn't the ADA related. It had to do with alcohol and tobacco advertising on transit lines. And we got out there and had petitions signed and presented it to the president of New Jersey Transit. And it wound up taking that advertisement off the lines for a period of time. This was a while back. But, you know, the alcohol and tobacco companies have a way of slipping through. So I think it may be up on some of the ads now, but it was a big thing. The loudest wheel gets the most oil. And if it's not a collective, like you said, you have to do it really collectively. They're not going to listen to one little voice in the wilderness. But if it's people behind it, and that could be your first approach, and you start developing the paper trail, if you will. But we sent this letter to New Jersey Transit. These are the issues. It still hasn't improved. And if you still, because there is the ADA is American with Disability Act is a federal law, and that cannot be violated. They give folks in those conditions very special attention if their rights are violated in certain ways. And that's what it sounds like. If you're signing up for a ride, there's no reason why somebody should be standing outside for an hour with a cane.
You said a key word, Miss Deborah. You said a key word in all of our conversations up here, even when you talk about the ADA. You said the key word, and I learned that from dealing with these people. You used the word if. And that word if is real huge and big when we're talking because if they don't figure you have been violated, they ain't doing nothing to help you.
It's not a matter of whether it's been violated. How do you have a person in a wheelchair or a cane or anything outside for an hour? That's ridiculous. When you call to set up the ride, they give you a time, correct, for pickup?
Yes, they do.
They do.
Okay.
But when they're short, Miss Deborah, when they're short of drivers, Miss Deborah, these are the things that's going to happen. These are the things that's going to happen.
Well, these things do happen. They have happened. However, today, we want to try to see if we can get some consensus to say, okay, can we move forward? Can we commit to whatever letter writing campaign we need to do? Because the specific issue here really wasn't the price increase, but it was the reduction of the ride share option that they gave to us because of the fact that we were not being picked up, or we were being picked up late, or we were being left, and drivers were saying that they came to pick us up, and that wasn't the case. Well, they want to reduce that ride share service with Lyft and Uber that they gave to us, and the amount of rides that we're able to receive every month, they want to cut it by half.
So let's not mislead the people. Let's not mislead the people. You are specifically talking about Uber and Lyft. You're not talking about Access Link.
I'm talking about Uber and Lyft,
okay,
but as it is through Access Link for our ride share option, they give us this option so that, if Access Link is not able to, or it's just more convenient, we could take that. But they want to reduce the amount of ride share service that we have through those two options. So in other words, we get 20 per service a month. They want to reduce that by half. Now that'll be 20 rides period for a month.
10 and 10.
So,
10 and 10.
10 and 10.
That's right.
And suppose you use your service. Most people who have it use it. They go other places that you can't get to real quickly on Access Link, or you can't get to on Access Link. So we take it. But what if they reduce it down? Now we're down to 10 and 10. If we need those rides, now we got to go back to the Access Link or to the other services that they're trying to put in place, which are just similar to Access Link, but not really known to be, a cut above Access Link, because they just put them on. So we got notified of this, that, hey, they're going to reduce it for those who have already been grandfathered into it. They want to reduce it, but they're giving us to January to respond to that. Now, we can respond to that specifically, and also within that response, also voice other concerns that we have regarding just the service of Access Link itself. So we can kind of deal with two things at once. you know, let our voices be heard about the service that we do have that they want to reduce, but of course they want their prices to increase. All right, but they want to take stuff away. Okay.
Well, if I may, because I didn't know it was two different things going on. Okay.
Two different things. Yeah, two different things. So that's why I said don't mislead the people. And I didn't hear it grandfathered over. And up there, up north, y'all got more problems. I want to let you speak and talk, Ms. Deborah, but I wanted to ask everybody who's listening on this line, do you know where that service even started from and how you even got that service in the first place? We're talking about Uber and Lyft now. And also, when I'm sharing that, you know, I'll put that on the table.
Well, quick question. On the Uber versus the access link, do you use the Ubers more like, I heard somebody say they had to go for a medical assessment. Do you use the Uber for that, for medical appointments?
You can use it for any. You can use it for anything. You can use it anywhere, anything, anywhere.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would think that because I know when the Uber was, the link thing for the Uber was put in place, that kind of, and I don't know whether it was before, I might be speaking out of turn, but I remember when I was working at the health department, Uber partnered to take people to medical appointments for their COVID follow-up test, treatment, a shot, or something like that. So is this just a continuation of that, or is it something that they've always done with Uber?
Sort of, kind of, two different things, though. The Uber you talking about is the regular Uber that you put on and you can catch that. This right here is a program that was put in place to
supplement.
I will say that word, to take up the slack because Access Link couldn't do everybody. So to let everybody know on this line, like I said, we're talking about two different things here. And Marcus said it. He said that we can do this and we can take care of two things at one time. And so anybody who's listening on this line who don't know, the reason why Uber and Access Link, especially Uber, was put in place in the first place is because Bill Graves is the one who went to the governor and everybody else. Here's one of the problems, major problems. Uber don't work for New Jersey Transit. That's why you don't hardly see them get out. They don't help us. Sometimes you will get a nice one that will help you, that will assist you, but they're not required to get out and do any of that. And that's the difference between them and Access Link. They don't work for Access Link, and they don't work for New Jersey Transit. And I've heard y'all got a problem up there, even with Uber, because Uber don't want to compel to what they want them to do. And so, like I said, you got to be in the knowing, and that's why I said let's not mislead the people on what we're talking about here and what's going on and what's not going on. Because you got options. You got the county transportation.
Yeah, there was a sister that wanted to get in.
Okay, let's bring it. Well, okay, Miss Edwards, did you want to finish your thought?
To know, because I thank the gentleman for the clarification, because now I'm hearing two different things. And I'm just thinking in terms of Uber, it may be better to use them for medical appointments and that kind of thing versus the Access Link, which is more like if you're going, shopping,
anywhere,
going grocery, that kind of thing. So that's all I'm saying. So in terms of your approaches and which you're going to go with, you can think about which way you want to go with that in terms of approaching New Jersey Transit and how you want to approach them.
Access Link is used for anything. You can use it anywhere, anybody's home. anywhere that you want to go. Uber, you can do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the county, you only have to use for medical. We have options. We just have to better use them. You know, the
So,
options.
question, with the county, how do they work?
They take you to your medical appointments.
Oh, okay, got
They
it.
take you to your medical.
Within the county.
They're not taking you to. Sometimes they'll pick you up and take you to your medical. They're not taking you to a home or to a business, to establishments. They're only taking you to your medical.
Oh, okay, got it.
Dealing with people that's under. Go ahead, Latoya. And Miss Deborah's still trying to get in. Miss Alexander's still trying to get in.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Alexander. I will listen to her now. Okay.
Yeah, Miss Deborah Alexander. Yes, you got the floor now. If I didn't, you'll have the floor next.
I only have one thing. They take you to medical and mental health. That's what county is for.
Okay, thank you.
You to medical and what? I could barely hear her.
She said mental health. It's the same thing.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes, you're quite
same thing as
welcome.
medical. Yeah.
All right, Miss Alexander, you got the floor, and then Ivadine, you have the floor next.
She might have went
All right, Deborah Alexander, you have the floor.
Take yourself off of mute. D, take yourself off of mute. Star 6 like on yours. You know she be doing the most. She be listening, but she be doing the most over there. So.
All right. Well, we're going to come back to her. Ivadine, you have the floor now. You have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So I just wanted to close up maybe some of the gaps in the question. So Xtra-Hype Access Link Mobility is a federal program. It's a federally funded program through the American Disabilities Act, and it's sent down to the state, local, city, county transportation bureaus across the country. Back in 2000, I'm going to say somewhere between 2006 and 2008, they did a budget assessment of this service. And they found, because again, it's federal money that comes down by contract. Because it comes down by contract, a few people are getting paid, entities are getting paid. So it comes down to the state funnels it to the local municipalities to run through their metropolitan transportation system. The idea of this service is so that people with disabilities can live as normal a life as possible by having access to moving around, to transportation. It is not a only medical service. It is not only for old people. It is not only for adults. Babies are clients of this service. So they do, of course, have a personal care attendant, a PCA. Between 2006 and 2008, when they did the budget assessment, they realized that if you contacted this service and you wanted to go to your, just as an example, your trip was only 2 miles away, it averaged in the contract with all the people getting paid, it averaged in the contract $67. Whether you were going a mile, 2 miles, $67, shortest trip, average. They felt, and I agreed when I read it, that that was a lot of money for such a short trip. So that's when they incorporated now using car service, even before Uber, because if I'm saying between 6 and 8, Uber wasn't even in existence. We must also keep in mind that the entities behind getting rid of Uber, getting rid of Lyft, getting rid of Amazon, all of that is still in play, even though it quieted down after COVID, because if it wasn't for those apps, many more people would have unfortunately passed. But now they're bringing it up. It's almost like a prejudice, because the Uber ride for that 2 mile trip, as an example, is still only going to be about $20. So that's still a allocation of a budget that was approximately 67 back then. So that's almost 20 years ago, right? 18 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, it could even be maybe $100 per trip minimum through the contractual blue and white service of the access link, Xtra-Hype mobility, however it goes. So they put this car services in place even before Uber to provide accessibility to the service, those who needed the service. That's why they put the taxis in place. Now, I know we talked about this last week a little bit, and I did not do any research on it, but I really, really will do so. And everyone else, please, if you're listening, contact the American Disability Act, because this little thing that New Jersey is doing may be a little prejudicial and discriminatory. It's taking away from the purpose of the service.
Mm-hmm.
Don't limit it. Why would you limit the service? Because, of course, we don't matter. Black, white, orange, purple, classism, we don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't use the service. I used to drive for the service, but I'm very inquisitive when things are happening, and that's how I know about the taxi service and why they implemented the car service. And it made sense. We all will agree that if they could save $40 on such a short trip, it keeps more in the budget for more people to be able to use the service. 100%. We agree.
Mm-hmm.
I say again, please check on a federal level to see if what New Jersey is doing is legal. Now, I heard Leon said Bill Graves was instrumental in bringing the car services to New Jersey, and that is good. And I don't know how long ago that was, but the taxi services have been incorporated at least since somewhere between 2006 and 2008. I'm going to say it's probably about 2006. It has been in place. In Maryland, they actually get a taxi card that they get replenished every month. Money goes on that card. And the one thing that absolutely will do is give you access to getting up today and realizing you could get somewhere today with that taxi card. Because even with their system of appointments and reservations a day or two in advance, that's nonsense based on the description of why this service is in place so that people with disabilities can live and access transportation as normally as possible. Normal isn't everybody needing a 2-day reservation. Like, you don't even know what you're going to do tomorrow. So that taxi card, which is in Maryland, that's super beneficial. What was happening, they should not be able to limit how much you ride. Your health coverage has medical transportation built in, and that's when you can use a service to get to a medical of any kind. A medical appointment, medical, dental, vision, whatever it is. By reservation, of course, because you need to get somebody to pick you up. But access link, you should be able to go anywhere within probably your radius. And I'm going to say your radius not being like 2 miles or 3 miles, but sometimes you have to cross small bridges to go different places and then connect up. Because, I don't know if you all know this, but let's say you're going on vacation and you're going to be in, let's say, Florida for a week or 2 or a month. You contact, we're going to speak Jersey language, you contact Access Link, let them know where you're going to be and when you're going to be there and for how long. They make the connection with the access service in that area, and you get a temporary access pass to use the service in the area that you're going to be in for that period of time. I don't know if you all knew that. And if you did, I hope you're sharing it with people who you know who are using the service. So please, everyone listening, and this way, if everyone listening can do the research, make the calls, and find out from the federal level what are the requirements, what are the not just the requirements. There's another word. What are the parameters in which this service is supposed to be available and for whom? Because the other thing I heard you say, they want to cut off your time. Well, people use access late, right, to go to work. If you're working an overnight shift and you have to be to work at 11, well, how are you going to get there? And yes, there are people with disabilities who go to work. So they can't limit. It should be a 24-hour service. It should be, and Marcus, I hear what you're saying, which might be what Leon is saying, that there's two different things. I'm going to suggest, so I'm going to say it right, that you reach out nationwide and do a survey of the service and how it's provided, because numbers are very important. Now, I know I was speaking about the federal government, which is a whole another rainbow cookie right now, but that is where that money is coming from. The American Disability Act is giving you access to living as normal, not that you're not normal, but in terms of transportation, not being limited to what you can do and can't do. And I'll end here. Here in New York, the folks had decided that people were going to the casino in Yonkers, Empire Casino, and it was making them late for work. Well, then I think you need to book a little earlier. But that was a combination. That's how you have to kind of watch who's holding your ladder. That was a combination of, I think, fake complaints and people, the system, wanting to funnel people to the JFK new casino locally. So the people who would go to that casino lived down in the boroughs, but when they opened up the casino about JFK, stopping them from using access to ride to go to Yonkers allows them to now just come. So they funneled that money. So that was a little suspect to me, only because I see things in a different kind of way. But you are able to go anywhere, anytime. And so please, I'm going to do the research also, but please don't put the onus on me. I say let's all do it and kind of come back. Maybe send Marcus, send Marcus a message on whatever it is that you found, and you can be the collector of the information. Because this is very important. But if you do that survey across the country on the services, the quality of service, that's very important. And Leon, to your point, where the Uber drivers may not get out to help, it would maybe be, so there's a liability. There's a liability in providing a service. And of course, under the contract, it's door-to-door service with access links under the contract. Door-to-door. We don't carry you up the stairs or you to the bathroom. It's just door, right?
That's wrong.
Just door-to-door.
No, that's wrong right there. That's not right. But go ahead, finish.
So, my understanding, ambulatory services, they will carry you up the stairs and walk you and sit you. Under what I understand, and again, this whole research thing is going to be good because for us who are listening who are not utilizing this service yet, do know it could take a half a second before we need it. And so it's really important to get information and others that we may know who could benefit from the information. But I will check, Leon. Maybe I am wrong, but I know ambulance, they can take you into the building. The accessorized service, access link, unless there's some special regulation, it's door-to-door service. They pick you up. It doesn't mean that they can't be nice and come out and get you. Access link contract may say, once you connect with the customer, then safely they have to get on your vehicle, and safely they have to get off your vehicle, and you can help them to the door. But with Uber and the other taxi services, I don't think there's a whole lot of training and regulation in that. It's about a human condition. It's about a human condition. And so I'm going to rest there and listen in.
What I want to say, this is what I want to say to you, is that your research that you looked up was very good. I'll give you that. When you went back to, but I want you to clarify something for me when I get finished speaking and talking, something that I did not really understand. So I want you to try to clarify this when I put it on the table. Your research that you looked up and you went back to 2006, 2008, I think you did, was very excellent. And so I'm going to speak for those of us that's here in New Jersey. And so we did know, or I knew, that you can transfer. So say if I wanted to go from here to Delaware, at the rest stop, I can patch in with Delaware's where they can also pick me up, whatever it's called, because it's not called the same thing everywhere. It's not called Access Link everywhere or every other state that you may want to transfer to. It's another name, but Access Link knows, and so we do know that. Here's what was wrong about, and I said this in the beginning of my conversation. I said to y'all, there's things out there, but I didn't want to take y'all down that rabbit hole. And so I'm going to go back to your research. And this is for those of us that's here in Jersey. The name Christy Whitman. I'm quite sure people will know who I'm talking about when I say that. And I'll say this. No, people, it is not door-to-door. It was never door-to-door, door-to-door. It's curb-to-curb. See, these are the different things that you have to know about, and that's what changes it. We're not talking about am services. And I said this. I said, let's not mislead the people. We're talking about two different things here. And I separated the two different things. And I know what this conversation is about. It's about them taking away the Uber rides instead of you having 20 and 20. They want to take it down to 10 and 10, and they want to raise the price. And they have done so. No one has been grandfathered over. And this is what they're going to do. And this is what's being done. And I don't think it's been in effect yet. I'm not sure. But we're talking about two different things here. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you're listening, it is not door-to-door. And those of us who know what I'm talking about know it's curb-to-curb. And that makes it not with them have to get you out, walk you to. They ain't got to walk you to your door. They just got to get you off that bus safely and get you on that bus safely. That's why when they're required to get out and come around, and they got to call your name. You call their names, and you know it's them. That's why they have to blow the horn and announce, and you get on. You get off. They don't have to walk you to your door. It's curb to curb, ladies and gentlemen. It has never been door to door, and it's never going to be door to door. Because it's underneath of, once again, New Jersey Transit. Here's another thing. You can catch Access Link 24 hours a day. You're not limited to where you can go. You're not limited to where you can go. You're not limited to how many rides you can take with Access Link. You're not. It's 24/7, people. Come on. Those of us who catch this and know this know what I'm talking about up here. And so, like I said, we're talking about two different things. You're talking about this Uber and Lyft. That's what they're taking down. That's what they have taken away, those things, and raised the price. But Access Link is 24 hours. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who don't know, and I'm talking about those of us who live in Jersey, here you go. If you're not within a bus stop, they won't come pick you up. And those of us who ride these, who know these things, know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to be within a certain amount of, I don't know if it's 3/4 of a mile with a bus stop. If you are not, they will not come pick you up your home. You have to make it there to that point to even get on Access Link. And I'll say it again. This is New Jersey Transit's rules. And that's what Access Link follows. So if New Jersey Transit, and this is where, I had to let Yvonne, they know that it's not door to door, because guess what? New Jersey Transit is not door to door. It's curb to curb. It'll let you off on the curb. It would have picked you up on the curb. And this is what Access Links follows here. Like I said, let's not mislead the people. We're talking about two different things. If you want to talk about them taking away the Uber rides, how many rides you can ride, let's talk about that. If you want to talk about them taking away or raising the prices, let's talk about that. But you bring in New Jersey Transit and you bring in Access Link, you're talking about two different things. Go ahead.
Well, Leon, what we're doing is really basically what I did was I painted a picture so that everybody could understand totally. We're talking about something connected to New Jersey Transit through Access Link, which is our ride shares, because I was basically
which they don't follow Access Links or New Jersey Transit's rules, Marcus.
I understand that. I'm not saying they did. I'm not saying that at all. They're contracted. However, because we were enrolled, we actually volunteered to enroll in this program, okay, through New Jersey Transit, and because it was to supplement, what Access Link was not able to do for us, it's basically a lifeline for us. So with that being what it is, for them to give notice, and I got the notice, I already got it in my email, but they're proposing, it's a proposal, it's not a mandate, because if it was a mandate, they would have took it, they'd have already did it, but they can't, because those of us who were initially signed up for it actually have the benefit that we still have. It's just the new riders that signed up after they reopened it again, for them, they got less. But those of us who were already on it when they opened it up the first time, we still got the 20 and 20. The new riders now got 10 and 10.
Right now.
And they want, right now. And they want to bring us down to 10 and 10, but they can't do that like they did the new riders, because technically it's the same service, but it's two different agreements. One was when they opened it up, and the other one, remember, after they opened it up, they took a certain amount of riders and they closed it up, and those riders were still able to ride. Then they reopened it for new riders, and the new riders got 10 and 10. But those of us who started when it first opened up, we got 20 and 20. But if they could have took it away from us and brought us down to 10 with the new riders, they would have already did it, but they can't. Because
what is it that you're proposing? Because you want to be grandfathered over, and you don't want yours to go down, or anybody who signed up first. What are you? Because like I said, I don't want to mislead the people when we're talking and speaking. And Evadne, I just like her to chime back in, if you allow her to, because Evadne put some figures on the table that just didn't register in my mind. And maybe.
Okay, so here's what we're talking about here, just so everybody knows. We all are talking right now. This topic is specifically for the ride share.
Marcus, real quick. I want to correct something that I've been hearing all night. And the word that we should be using is not taking away our independence. These other words that I've been hearing up here, handicap, these other different terminologies that I've been listening to, these things have been put in place so we won't have our independence taken away from us. Go ahead, Marcus.
Okay, well, we got all spectrums here, but okay, that's cool. We can do that. But here's the topic, plain and simple. We have a rideshare service that serves us. It serves us well as an option to having to wait for an hour, 2 hours, not get picked up, get put on a suspension list so we can't use the Access Link service because somebody wants to screw around and mess it up. Whatever they're doing, we have an option that we can use. Now, if that option is reduced, if it's cut down, and we still have the same issues on the other side with Access Link, New Jersey Transit Access Link service, okay, because they're running under New Jersey Transit. Yeah, we know that. They cut those services down, that option down, then that does place a limitation. It is prejudicial. It is discriminatory. And because all of this was done through agreement, they took so many people, made agreements with us, and gave us the option to keep the service or to do away with the service for our own individual choice, to say, if you don't want it no more, you can just use Access Link and you don't have to do that. We'll just take that off your account. But most people kept it. That's an agreement. That stands. That's binding. They can't just do away with what we got, because they just can't. That's against the law of contracts and agreements. They can't do it. If they could have did it, they would have did it already, but they can't. So what I'm saying is they're giving us January 2026, but they let us know this at the end of September. So basically we got 90 days, give or take a few. If we don't do anything, we don't say anything, we don't do no campaign, we don't do nothing on paper, we don't say anything about it as a collective, which will be stronger, they're just going to go ahead and do what they want to do anyway. But if we show up in numbers, some type of numbers, and we put it out there, say, listen, collectively, bam, this is what it is. We're not accepting that proposal. Here's our offer to you. Now we're in negotiations, and nothing can change until negotiations are done. So we put that out there. Now they got to sit back and they got to think, well, how are we going to respond to this? What are we going to do? Blah, 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 blah. At that time, everything freezes. We can't do anything because we just blocked them. So I'm just saying.
So let me ask you a question, Marcus. Let me ask you a question with your collective, please, that you want to do. Are you going to spearhead this, Marcus? That's the one question. Are you going to spearhead this to collectively get the people together? My next question is, Marcus, are you going to be talking and speaking for those of you guys who have had it already, or are you going to speak for those of us who came in here that should have it also?
Well, I'll answer that question. I am here opening up right here on Monday nights so that all who are interested and all who want to be a part of what we're proposing to counter can meet here. So it's not just me. I'm not just the brain. We all got minds here. I'm just opening it up and saying, hey, let's meet here. Let's talk about it. Now, if I need to speak, whatever, I'll speak. I don't think that I'll be
a speaker. We're going to need a speaker when we go to them. We're going to need a speaker.
Yeah, I won't be the only one.
The question I'm asking is, those of us that are new riders, are you also speaking for them to get to 20? Or are you just speaking for those of y'all who already had it?
I'm going to answer that. I didn't get to that yet, Leon, but I'm going to answer that now. Now, those of us who are already grandfathered, and we are grandfathered in, which is why they're dealing with us the way they are. They gave us a proposal. They didn't try to take anything. Okay, we need to address that. Why do we need to address that? And why do we need to stop it? Because number one, it stops discrimination against us, but now it creates a situation where the new riders who have similar conditions to the ones who are already grandfathered in can say, wait a minute, how can you all separate us and let them have this and this and this, but then you treat us differently? That's discrimination. See where I'm going with this? Very simple. We don't need to go through a whole lot of rigmarole. No, very simple. Cut to the chase. Address it. But then those of us who are under the same umbrella of disability, whatever it may be, now they have a voice. Why? Because they can't discriminate.
I have a question. I'm sorry to interrupt real quick. I just want to have a thought out real quick before you all jump in. Now, would you consider? My question for you is actually it's two things. Number one, I understand that for the people that joined the group the first time around when it first started out and they had the 20 versus the 10, I got that you guys don't feel that y'all feel that everyone should still have the same amount, but at the same time, it is a contract for the people that just start. It's like any other business. I mean, to my opinion, if you open a business and the first commerce comes in, of course you're going to have a discount for the people that first comes in, and then the second crew that comes in later on when the establishment starts to pursue or grow or evolve, they're going to have different accommodations, or I call it grants for the next set of people that jump into the system. I mean, I understand y'all want it equal, but that's just a general business status. If you guys, whomever came in, because some people when they first opened up, people was very what do you guys call it? They were doubting it. They wasn't sure. They were questioning it. Is it really accessing fraud? Because some of the individuals were questioning it because they had a lot of let's be real. They had a lot of hiccups with that establishment, with the Uber, with the Lyft, with the cab, and whatever else you want to call them. And not everyone wanted to do it because of the fact that either they were not phone shabby or Access Link, because at the end of the day, when you call Access Link and say, yo, I can't find my vehicle, for some, I shouldn't say all, because depending on the individual, they will try to help you find your Uber or your Lyft or your cab or whatever you want to call it. And then others, they say, look, you got to be independent and you got to look it up on your phone. I get that we do not want discrimination, but it's a business aspect of a contract. So are you telling me?
Let me speak to that real quick, and then after I speak to that, Valerie, I'm gonna let you have the floor. But let me speak to that real quick. Let me speak to that. Here's the deal, and make this very simple. There is no discrimination when it comes to business. Number one, let me give an example. A woman and a man both apply for the same position in the company, and it's paying the same, okay? They can't pay one more over the other just because they feel that this one applied here and this one applied then. And they say, well, oh, you got it first, so you get it at this pay rate, but because you didn't get it there, no, we're not going to give you the same pay rate. No, that's a no-no. You cannot do that. There are anti-discrimination laws all over the place. And because it's us with ADA, they will eat them alive. Trust me when I tell you that. They don't play that. And they do give us very special attention when this happens. I know because I've been through it with some things. I've been through some things. I ain't going to go through them, but they don't want that smoke. The ones that I had to deal with, they just had to deal with me. They had enough of dealing with me. They don't want that smoke, all right? I was about to take it there. No. We don't need to go there because that follows you everywhere you go. It messes up your reputation everywhere. It excludes you from a lot of things. You just can't do business the way you used to, and it's very difficult to get around it, if at all. So they don't want that. And when they come and look and they come and dig, they digging up everything. They going back. They want to see everything, not just that issue that's being dealt with right there, but they're going to take it all the way back retro. Nobody wants that. They don't want that. It's just a headache, a migraine, if you will. Number two, when they're doing contracts, the way that they're doing them, what they're hoping is that we are not noticing what's going on. That's what they're hoping. Because like I said, the ones who are already with the program or applied for the program, the way that they presented it should have been presented the same exact way to the next group of people. What changes it from one to the other when it's the same thing? That's just like saying, oh, well, the ticket price to get into the movie is $20 flat. But because you came later on, we're going to charge you $10 more on the same day or the next week. But the ticket prices haven't gone up. It's just that, hey, we want to do this because we just hoping you don't pay attention and we can get a little more. Or we could actually put out a little less, but maybe take a little bit more over here to the side. I'm not saying it's happening, but in some instances it does. But what I'm saying is cut through all the red tape, all the BS. Here's the deal. If they could have took that away from those who already had it initially, they would have did it the same time that they brought the new people in. They would have brought everybody's rides down, but they couldn't. They couldn't. And they know they can't. They're just hoping we don't know that. And what's their Achilles heel to that? All we got to do is put it on paper. Give it to them and say, memorialize it, get a bunch of signatures, put it in front of them and say, here you go. Let's talk. Let's negotiate. They can't do nothing after that. They can't make no moves. It forestalls them. So we at least have to do that if we want to keep this. Because I'll tell you this, if we do nothing, they'll take this, and then guess what? They'll take something else away later on. Mark my words. So that's what I wanted to say about that. But I hope I answered your question. Did that answer your question?
Can I say something, Marcus?
Well,
I believe
okay,
I thought Valerie was coming in next.
Valerie wants to speak.
I just wanted to say I understand everything you're saying, Marcus. I understand what Ibad may say, what Leon says. But at the end, we in our region of New Jersey Transit Access Link Region 6, they took everything from us. So what are we really going to fight for? Because we no longer have Uber or Lyft, or we never had Uber. We had Lyft and black and white cab. And they took both of those from our region when new owners bought that particular region. So I understand you wanting to have a petition to sign, and we were one of the originals. I know I was, and Janet was, everybody in Region 6 who started out that wanted it and that used it. We did use it, but unfortunately it was taken away from our region. So that's under a new contract because we have new owners. So how can we fight for the old contract when our region has new owners? They even moved the location from where it was housed to another city in Jersey. The buses and the vans and the cars. So how are we to help fight for you? I understand your region and those who already that's grandfathered in, and even the newer people who got the 10 rides. Region 6 has no rides, not even 10.
Okay.
Can I try to address that, please?
Well, hey, Joffrey, before you come in, Brother Marcus, I just want to say you can extend this show. A disgruntled King David just called and said that he needed time to come in, so he's going to cancel his show, so you might as well extend this show, brother.
Okay, then.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When you
Okay.
get finished, Joffrey, I want to definitely let Valerie know something about what she was talking about. But go ahead, Mr. Joffrey. I want to hear what you got to say.
Oh, okay. My understanding from Marcus's show is that he was doing a gathering to see who wants what. Okay, and also his premise is that if they do this proposal, if they answer the proposal with a counter offer, okay, number one, it stalls the implementation of the increase, whatever was supposed to come January 1st. Number two, once they solidify that they cannot change that contract, and they were given the opportunity for rebuttal through the proposal that they made. Now, as far as Region 6, I would be willing to bet that they likewise sent out a proposal and no one did anything. So now, by supporting Region 2, I think it is, you're saying, let's support them. Once they get it established that New Jersey Transit / Access Link can't do what they've done to others, okay, it's there. Then the others can come back and say, whoa, wait a minute. How is it Region 2 and not Region 6? And not Region 4? That's where the discrimination comes in. From what I'm listening and I'm understanding. And I'll yield on that.
So, once again, people, and I'm going to share this again, we're talking about two different things, because I'm not going to say if Marcus and what Marcus is talking about was true, and I'm not saying what he's talking about is not true, because I believe the brother's a wealth of information and he knows what he's talking about. We're talking about two different entities, because guess what? What happened when Access Link raised their prices? That was a contract, right? Nobody stood up and said anything about them. But see, we're not talking about Access. Marcus is not talking about Access Link. What we're talking about is Uber, and so we won't get this all confused again. You have to be in the knowing, people. You got two different entities when you talk about these Ubers. Marcus is talking about one form of the program, but then you have another form that Access Link provides for you too. When they can't send you a bus, they'll send you an Uber. So that's a whole nother program. So let's go back to what Valerie said. Valerie is right, see? And guess what, Valerie? What happened in your region is this. It's not that y'all don't have it. They're still in negotiations. You know why? Because Uber did not like their terms. That's what it was. And so they told them that, they wasn't going to agree with their terms. They're still trying to negotiate so y'all can have it in Region 6. But, they just wasn't going to go for what Access Link was trying to put on the table. That's it, because they don't have to. Because they don't work for Access Link, and they sure enough don't work for New Jersey Transit. They have their own parallel. Before they linked up over here, before Bill Graves went to the governor and sat down and put this in place, but when he did that, he thought everything was fine and he walked away. He didn't put it all in place to say, look, listen, sometimes those of us that's under the umbrella are going to need assistance because it's not medical. It's not medical, ladies and gentlemen. They don't have to get out and help us now, even though we have to. And most of the people that come pick you up, they don't even speak English. I know up North Jersey.
True.
So then, right. Right. So there's an issue in the province and the language barrier also right there to a certain degree. And so I like what Valerie put on the table and what they said, and we have to be in the knowing about what is and what isn't. And so I understand what you're trying to do, Marcus. So my thing is, I'm not up here to go against anything you or anybody else is saying. I'm up here saying that if we're going to fight for one, we got to fight for all, because all of us are under the umbrella. That rise Access Link that's ran by New Jersey Transit, and that's why I had to let Evadne know and everybody that was listening, this is not door to door, it's curb to curb, and that what makes a difference. The different word is, and the young lady, Miss Deborah, that came up here, she used the right word. She used the word if. If. That word goes a long way when we're talking about standing up, because they determine whether or not you can feel like you've been discriminated, because I know I was. And so when I went, it was, they didn't feel like I had been. And I know I had.
Let me say this. I don't mean to cut you off, man. Let me just say this real quick. I want to make this perfectly clear. This is not just about a certain region or a certain service. This is about all of us. All of us. That's why it's out to all of us, because we all have the opportunity to be serviced the way that we're being serviced now. This is about all of us. We ain't leaving nobody out. Ain't nobody being left out. That would just be straight wrong. So that's not even anything to consider. Understand, we're talking about the fact that Uber and Lyft were contracted through New Jersey Transit to provide an option to access link riders. That's what we're talking about. New Jersey Transit contracted with Uber and Lyft. However they did it, New Jersey Transit's on one end of the spectrum, Uber and Lyft are on the other end of the spectrum. It's independent services contracted to provide services for us. And we're under the ADA, okay? Now, what they're proposing to do by trying to, let's say, chop down the service the way that they're trying to do it, real underhanded, I get it, but it ain't getting past me. Now, I know if I see it, because I'm no smarter than nobody else, but I'm just weird like that. I see it, okay? I'm not letting it go past. I'll run my mouth. I will. But I'm saying, everybody else, look at the game. Look at how they're trying to play it. Trying to play all of us as if we don't matter, as if we're not intelligent, as if we don't know, and as if we're lazy. Oh, they ain't going to do nothing. We'll get them. Just throw 90 days at them. But what about when that communication, that counter offer comes through, and now they all scrambling like roaches when the lights come on because they didn't believe it was going to happen? Because this is how they're looking at us. They're looking at us like, oh, yeah, they're really? You think they gonna do something? They don't even do nothing when we suspend them from riding the regular service. You think they're gonna do something about this or it? Whatever. That's exactly how they thinking. That's exactly what they think of riders.
So are you going to put the paperwork up? Are you going to put the paperwork together, the petition together, Marcus, so all of us can sign it?
I am going to have that done, yes.
Okay. I'll sign it. I'll be the person to say, I'll sign it up here. But it has to be for everybody, not just for those of y'all who's been grandfathered.
No. That's not it. What I'm saying is those are two different aspects. Because of the fact that they could not take away that, in other words, they couldn't reduce the service that we received through Lyft and Uber, because the original contract that we entered into with them to try this out is still in force and effect, and it's binding because it was longer than 30 days. So it's binding. They can't just do it away. But with the new riders, what they tried to do is a flim-flam on them. And then what they're hoping is that if we don't say anything, we get brought down to 10 rides, and now everybody got it. Now nobody can't say nothing. And then they can just keep going.
We got 60 days. Let's just draw up the paperwork, since that is your solution, or that is the solution to all of us. We got 60 days and some change to put it in. And then who do we put it into, Marcus? Who did that paperwork go to?
I would believe that it would go to the chief executive of NJ Transit, as well as some of the other high-up executives. That's my thought. But to find out exactly who, well, we're going to need some other minds and some other people to take up those mantles and try to find that out.
Miss Deborah that was up here, she's very keen on what she was talking about. I hope she's still up here and I hope she's still listening. But she was very insightful, very intelligent on what she was saying.
Hi, I'm still here. I'm just moving. I'm walking right now. Listen,
okay.
I heard a couple of things. Did they, and this is a question, because this is how Uber is funded through that pass is through the federal money too for the transportation?
Yes,
is that how they get their money? Okay, so what I'm saying to you is, since it's federal money under ADA to the Department of Transportation, it would seem like they would have had public hearings because that's public money.
And they do.
They do.
Okay, and are public hearings scheduled?
Not New Jersey Transit, but Access Link.
Access Link is under New Jersey Transit, Department of Transportation. That's a question that needs to be put forward to the Department of Transportation. You're making these changes. You tell us at the last minute, we are the public hearings because this is federal pass-through money that comes into the states, that filters down to the county, that filters down to the local level. And it is to address ADA.
Now, what happened if? Now, this is just an if. I'm just gonna put this on the table.
Mm-hmm.
What if Access Link and Uber say, listen, we don't want to work with y'all no more? The same thing that happened in Region 6. See, this is what happened in Region 6. They had new owners that took over, and then they wanted Uber and Lyft to follow their rules, and they said no. That's why they don't have it no more. That's why they don't have Lyft no more, because they said they're not following those type of rules. They didn't like whatever it was that they put on the table.
Well, if that's the case, they don't like it in any region then, because you're getting federal pass-through money to do it, period.
So what happens if, even in whatever region that we're in, they say, well, they no longer want to be a part of that, then we lose everything, and we're back to doing what? Dealing with Access Link.
Well, you could also. I'm sorry. I'm walking in the street. I was going to say again a campaign. You see what happened to Kimmel? If people hear about the fact that they're discriminating against, and that's what they're doing against people with ADA, particularly in urban centers or certain people, they could get some backlash on the commercial side of this, which they're not going to want.
Definitely not. The news, they don't like the news getting in.
That's right.
They don't like it.
So you might need to do a press conference, folks. Get it in the news.
Well, I'm all, like I said, Marcus, you do all the paperwork. I'll be the first to sign, but it has to be for all of us.
Was somebody else trying to speak? I thought I heard somebody else want to speak.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that when you said you were gonna notify on the local level, I believe in CC. I don't know what CC. I know it stands for carbon copy in real life, but I would CC all the way at the top where the money starts coming down. I would CC federal. I would CC the ADA. I would CC the transportation system. I would CC even Uber corporate. But the other thing that needs to happen is finding another transportation source that could take the grant based on the possibility of somebody saying, oh, well, we don't want it, that's done. No, there's too many people out here being serviced. It is a service. Transportation is a service that is needed. So in the meantime, either find an existing provider who would be willing to take on the charge of providing this service, dispatch systems and all of that already in place, and who would be really, really good, really, 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 really good, are some of these Amazon contractors, because they already have, the actual contractor, they already have a system in place for dispatch. So start kind of, putting the feelers out just in case. Because, they could get funky. And again, you don't really know where it's coming from, but it is very prejudicial. And I have a question because I could have missed it. when you take access links and or Uber or Lyft, do you pay and how much?
Well, it was a go ahead, Marcus. You can answer because I got the answer.
Yes, Access Link, we do pay for that service. And Uber and Lyft, yes, we do pay for that service as well. Access Link goes by zones. So whatever the bus zone price is, zone by zone, one zone is so much, two zones is more, three zones is more. That's how Access Link works. And we pay that either out of pocket or electronically on an online wallet. With Uber and Lyft, we are paying $2 per ride. New Jersey Transit pays the other 30 up to whatever cost that may be. And if there's any overage, it comes out of our pocket. So that's how that works.
Correct. He's correct about that. This is why we need our goddesses sitting at the table with us at all times. And he's correct about what he just said. And what Marcus is putting on the table is what they're going to do is they're going to take that $30 that they pay. They are paying. And if we stay within that $30, we only have to pay $2 to get to where we're going. But what they're going to do is they're going to take that $30 down, I believe, to $20 or $23. Not what it is.
Yeah.
And then from there, which is going to shorten your trip actually on to where you can go, or no, how far you go. I'm sorry. And then you'll still pay that $2, and if you go over top of that, like he just said, the rest of the money comes out of your pocket, whatever it may be.
You know, that's interesting because, as I mentioned, back in those years, they had said that one accessorized trip averaged $64, and that was almost 16
No,
to
say that
18
again.
years
Can you
ago.
say that? Can you say that again? Wait, say that again because that's what I wanted to question you on. Say that. Can you say that again?
So when they did the survey, the budget analysis back, and I keep saying 6 or 8, but I think it was like 2006. They found that no matter how short the trip was, the average accessorized trip was $67, whether it was 2 miles, 4 miles, 10 miles, $67 through the contract process. And so that's why they put the taxis in place, because they paid much less. They actually paid the fare of the taxi, whatever that was. And yes, here in New York, we're paying the same fare as MTA versus a train. So you pay that, $250, $175, whatever it is. They were paying the difference for the ride. But again, it still was cheaper than what they were paying throughout that contract. So to hear that they're now reducing, instead of like, what has gone down in America? Well, we won't talk about that. So anyway, nothing has gone down, in America, nothing. So why would you be reducing what you're allowing? And you know, this goes back to almost the education with the per capita, right? Why are you reducing what you're paying out unless, and you'll find that out, because the other thing is looking at the budget for this service from the federal government and how they're sending it out to the municipalities, to the states, and then to the municipalities. But people are padding their pockets. That's what's happening. If they're reducing the amount of trips you can take, again, discrimination, and reducing how much they're contributing, they're padding their pockets.
Yes.
I'm finished. Thank you.
Yes, Beverly, I think I heard you. You wanted to speak? Beverly?
No. My mute came off by mistake.
Okay. All righty.
And I just want to say something. I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm sorry. I just want to comment a little bit on the contract and the business and businesses, I guess, ability or right to change. This is not just business. This is government, and this is taxpayers' money. But whenever I hear they have this phrase with the union, oh, we want to get what we want, the baby has to suffer. with the impulse, okay? Nobody should have to suffer when you subscribe and submit to that kind of idea. That's why things keep getting worse and worse and worse. Things should be getting better and better and better. So if we settle for less, if we settle for and know that the people under us are going to get less, let's remember who the people under us are. That could be our children and our grandchildren. So soon they'll have zero if we submit and subscribe to that.
Right.
I suggest that sign the paper, put the paper together, Marcus, and CC what Miss Deborah and Yvonne, they say we should CC all those people, and you want to make noise, get the press to come in. I'll sign the paperwork. I'll be the first to sign it. Anybody up here who's under the umbrella of riding access link with these different programs should be willing to sign it too, but it has to be one for all and all for one when it comes to all of us up here, because, you know, we need to keep some form of independence so we don't have to depend on everybody else to do anything for us. And so I'll be the first to sign it. If you draw it up, I'll sign it, but then it has to go outside of the people that's on this line. We have to be able to reach a lot more people. And I'm quite sure there's a mass of those of us that falls under the umbrella of being having a disability or a different ability. And I didn't say disabled.
All right.
Don't just limit it to those who may have an ADA. Get it out to people that are in support of it. I would be willing to send it through our Protect University Hospital and the Newark agreements. We have several organizations that can sign on with you.
There we go. Let's get it. Exactly. Let's get it popping, Marcus. Let's get it popping.
And also those of us who have, you know, our friends, you know, our family, our PCAs, you know, that assist us, or home health aides that know what we go through, they can also support too. So, you know, we as people who are right there where it is, yeah, we're affected. We're trying to keep it, but with the support of others behind us pushing too. I mean, this becomes a bigger issue that, put it this way, ain't nobody gonna want to touch it, especially when it's ADA and it's that large. It's like a tsunami wave coming to the shore. Everybody trying to get out of Dodge.
We got 64 days. We got 64 days to put it together, and it should be put in CC to all these different entities before that, and maybe we can get them to change their little minds, like you said, about what they're doing.
All right. Sounds good.
Would go the route of doing the petition with the CCs to Lottie-Dottie and everybody from the federal level on down, and then do a petition separate from that you could attach to that when you get ready to circulate it to different groups. I can tell you right now, we got the North Branch NAACP, about 4 other NAACPs. You got POP, you got the North Committee of Black Churchmen. You got some traction behind you, and we can take it from there.
Well, will you be willing to get in touch with Marcus so you can help out with the procedures?
I'll try, because I'm kind of inundated. We're in the midst of fighting University Hospital in Rutgers with that whole takeover. But through that effort, that's why I said the loudest wheel gets the most oil. We wound up doing several letters where we CC'd from the governor on down, so nobody can say they didn't know or they weren't aware. And that was over a period of time, though. You got a quick turnaround. I can give Marcus the format for a letter, and then he can just fill in the blanks of what the issues are. Look at it, and then finalize it with your group, and then we can circulate it.
I think.
Yeah. Can I share? Marcus said that he has dedicated numerous podcasts for Monday nights.
There
So
you go.
before we hastily write something up, let us continue to invite people in on Monday night so we can generate more and more interest. So
Yes.
with more and more interest, the likelihood of having more and more signatures comes up. Regardless of who's going to be first to sign or second, we need a lot of signatures. So we have to have more Monday night and more people included. So let's get the word out about Marcus's podcast on Monday night.
Right, and the other is to get that information out to any and all events in the community that you can find.
I just agreed to draw this paperwork up right now, despite how many more shows Marcus has. And I agree with Ms. Deborah. We have to get this outside of this. You understand what I'm saying? People, to get people to come in. Like I said, you know, you got people, our family members, our friends, that's not underneath the umbrella. And so we need everybody. So if you can't fill this room up with 1,000 people, this room holds 1,000 people. We can't talk about nothing. I'm saying we should get this paperwork drawn up, get people to sign if that's what needs to be done, as many people as you can to get them signed. And I'm not saying don't keep Monday stuff, and I'm not saying don't keep Monday people coming up here, but the same people coming up here is not getting new people. We have to go outside of this. That's just what, you know, I propose.
All right.
I appreciate that. I go to the senior center. So, and I know there are people there that use Access Link. So, yes, I would greatly appreciate having something that I could take down to the senior center, or I could take over to the library. Yes.
Exactly.
And Ms. Deborah, I find what you're doing too, Ms. Deborah, even though I don't know what it's about, but it sounds like, you know, you're fighting for a worthy cause, and I will stand behind you.
Well,
I've been in this fight for 34 years on very varying levels around healthcare. This is one of them.
Wow.
Come on, Wow. What we got going on, Wow?
Let me see. I opened it. Oh, I didn't know my mic was open. Greetings, Grown Folk Radio. This is
Grown
Mama
Folk.
Mahassan here.
Funny, Grown Folks Radio.
It's the
Come on.
Soul Liberator Show here, and I've been listening in and love the subject. I love the unity of pulling together.
Turn your blinker off.
And I was thinking about asking the question about, I guess as I'm an entrepreneur, I always think about just starting your own organization, you know, starting up with some people who are concerned and have a special one just for, you know, for the people with vision impaired, just for them personally. Like,
We have an organization. We have our own organizations. You have some of us up here who do have our own organizations for the people who fall under the umbrella of vision laws. We do have nonprofits up here.
Okay, and I thought of having one for, you know, car service for the community. But and when you said that nobody didn't come up and not one time want to sign it, I said, well, that was less than what asking to get your own started. So, but we made some progress, I think. Move on, Miss Deborah. She was very informative, and I love the area that she's in. Will you get ready to say something? Excuse me.
Well, I just wanted to chime in real quick, and I wanted to say to everybody who's listening, and those who are on, those who had to chime off, we definitely appreciate everybody coming up here for this particular topic, because it is something that's important, and we do think. I mean, we're not we're not just sitting around. We're not helpless. We do things. I mean, Brother Leon got his own organization. Sister Yvonne, she's getting it. She's out there. She does what she does. She researches. I mean, I don't even know what she sleeps. We got you, Miss Mahasan. You do your thing. You out there with it. You talking to business owners. I mean, we have
Jim J.C., Crystal Allen. We have these different organizations out here, these different nonprofits that stand up for what we are walking in, but we also stand behind anybody else that's being discriminated against also.
Exactly. And I think when we provide what we're going to provide, see, the push that makes the difference is the fact that, number one, we come with numbers, but number two, we come with power because we got backing. We got backing that ain't nobody else got. And I tell you, they don't want that smoke. I'm telling you, they do not want that smoke. Can you just imagine if that was to make the media with what we're doing? And if just by chance somebody wanted to be, an idiot and try to flip us off or brush us off like get out of here, you bother me. And then, ADA was to be mentioned and all of this. Could you imagine what that would do with the court of public opinion saying, wait a minute, you discriminating against these people who basically are trying to live independently and the best they can, and you trying to take stuff from them? Call the house of cards at.
You know what you just dropped, Marcus? Greetings. There's funds that's allocated through the federal government to cities and municipal areas for people with any kind of so-called challenge. So, the Ways and Means Committee, you got a back channel to find out exactly where the money goes to in the state before it's allocated to different departments. And another thing I like to recommend is finding out what's the procedure as far as when they have their town meetings or whatever the case it may be. Find out what the procedure is to get on the roster so that somebody could speak in reference to these issues in front of all of these boards, not just transportation.
That's good. Yeah.
Wow.
We know right now. We know that the federal side of it right now, as far as funds is cut off right now, ceased right now, and they do have them, and some of them are set up to where as though we can come on, but the only thing we can do is listen to what they say, not say anything. But then they do have other ones, town hall meetings that they have, and sometimes I think they put these things out of the way, so a lot of us from way down here where I'm at compared to where y'all at can't make it or don't make it. So permission to speak. Go ahead.
So I'm just thinking, because I find myself to be a little interested at times. I'm thinking if the news is contacted immediately,
yes,
that exposure will open up that investigation.
Yes,
they will do a lot of the work and say, wait, what? Wait, let's check this out, because they're going to check it out before they put it out, right? I think the news should get involved. The local news channels, and when I say local, like, the ones like, I don't know, you have News 12 and things like that, but also the mass media. I think there should be a press conference of a sort. And they're going to do that research. They're going to expose what is about to be a change. They're going to do that research. I think that's the second step. This is step 1A. I think the next step should be contacting the news, and everybody should kind of do it because in their local areas. Because if it's a state issue, it's New Jersey State. But of course, if things link up, it could be New York next. It could be Philly. So that's what I think should be the next step. Contacting the news outlets, including not just the individual news outlets, but also the papers, the local newspapers. Find the reporters that investigate these types of issues and put it out there. Let's and here I go, taxpayers' money.
Deborah, permission to speak, please? This is Deborah. I mentioned press conference earlier. We got the whole list. All of the legacy media from ABC, NBC, CNN, and the Animal Channel, MSNBC, and also have the New Jersey Associated Press. So whenever you get that press conference going, they can all be connected. They can all be contacted. I have the list. You can send it out to them in advance of your press conference, and you're going to get some to show up. You might get like a NewJersey.com, Star Ledger. We had out of all, and there's some 200 and some odd New Jersey, and that's electronic and print media, social media, everything else. There's some 200 in New Jersey. I have the list, so whenever you guys are ready, let me know. You got a press release, I can send it out with the letter that you send to the powers that be. And that's how we did it. And that's how we got attention. It wound up after we set fire, after 3 letters and never got an answer from University Hospital. It wound up having a CEO tender his resignation because it got a little hot. And it's not stopping there.
Is that the university they was trying to shut down?
Yeah, and that's what I'm with. I'm with the Protect University Hospital and the Newark Agreements Coalition. And that's what we did over a period of time. No more talking, no more griping. Put it in a letter, memorialize it, but also be sure to CC the ADA, federal ADA, who will in turn, and I know this from working in healthcare, in public health, let somebody send a letter like that. The first thing they're going to do is reach out to the state. Then they're going to reach out to New Jersey Transit. What's going on? And not to mention the state.
101.5.
Yeah, I was getting ready to suggest radio stations. Yeah, definitely.
Everything New Jersey.
Well, that I don't have the list of those media outlets, the radios. I went straight to the electronic press, electronic print, the newspapers, and like NewJersey.com. So it's some 200 some odd media outlets like that in New Jersey. I have the list.
I'm just sharing 101.5. They even have a segment, Ask the Governor. So maybe you want to include them. 101.5 FM. You
may want to include them as well because whoever's on that 105 point, I'm assuming that someone has an opportunity to speak or speak to the governor on that in that medium. Marcus, you would be that person. You could put the questions forward. You have just have a very nicely formatted, listed the issues, and put it before him and see what he's going to say. But now you got to remember this, guys. Murphy is in a lame duck session. He could care less. He's trying to get out of there. Who you need to put it before are your candidates like Mikey Sherrill or Citarelli. I don't know how far that's going to go, but I mean, don't leave anybody out. You need to work both sides of the aisle because here's the bottom line. It affects their people, too. Reality is when it happens to you.
And that's why we need our goddesses sitting at the table with us people. I always say that and I always share that. This is why it's important. Without them, there is no round table as far as I'm concerned. Let's get this moving. Eyes with a new vision. We'll stick behind this 100%.
All right. Well, we got a consensus. We have an accord here, I believe, with everybody on the line. And, our next thing is to reach out. Get more people here on Monday nights so that now we can get more interest generated and more backing and more and more and more. And then get this campaign moving. All right? So I just want to ask if anybody else has anything to add. If anybody else wants to have a question, comment, statement, any information you want to put on the table, floor is open. And if not, we'll do our customary closing. So,
I got one last thing.
You got it.
Yeah. Wake up, slow focus. I haven't heard
FloFokuz.
Prince all night long.
FloFokuz. Where you at, brother? I don't know. He may be happy. Here we go. There we go.
I'm here. I was just having
All right.
some issues about a few of the previous recordings. I've been seeing that my vocals aren't exactly coming through on the recordings right now, and I'm trying to listen live. It might be coming through, but I might have not clicked something on my computer because of the stuff in the things. But listen,
You have on your computer, before you do any of that, you have to click audio.
okay, so I actually found I didn't want to get technical. I mean, I can sit here and go over it all day. It's just one button when I come on live and I'm not using the current, like whatever audio device I'm using. I have to then indicate to the recorder, switch over to the new one that I just switched to, because sometimes I'm not wearing my headphones, but I hit live and then I hit the go call button and then I realize it's not coming through my headphones. Then I switch to the headphones, but then I have to tell the recorder switch back to the headphones. And I haven't been doing that for like the last couple of weeks, so I've missed a lot of my own commentary on some of these recordings, which is a bummer, but it's no big deal. I just definitely just want to say thanks to everyone who's chiming in, and all of your concerns are greatly appreciated as well. Thank you guys so much.
And also, I wanted to speak to Region 6 riders about that situation that you guys got where you don't have access to the service right now. You do still have it. Trust and believe you me. Just because they're not dispatching rides doesn't mean you don't have it, because if you didn't have it, they would have to put it in writing and tell you you don't have it. And let me tell you, they can't do that. The new company can't do that. You know why? Because they were not a party to the original agreement. So that agreement still exists without them. They have to be.
It's the Uber and the Lyft people that didn't agree. So actually, I think you're talking right, but Uber don't have to abide by that. They don't have to go. They don't have to go. So that's what's happening here in Region 6. They didn't go by their terms. They said no, they're not agreeing to those terms. Whatever those terms was that they didn't agree with, that they didn't like, probably is the same thing that we shouldn't be liking. But they didn't agree with it, and that's why they don't have it, because they didn't agree with it.
Exactly. But I'm thinking a little bit progressive here. I don't want to get too involved, but I'll just say this. There is an opportunity for a cooperative here somewhere down the line, because we're actually fighting for something that we know that is right for us to have. But because we're saying Uber and Lyft, we're not going against you guys. We have nothing against you. You're okay. It's these guys over here that's messing up the works for both you all and us to be able to do business. So, that's kind of like where it is. But just further down the line, just as a consideration, just letting everybody know there is an opportunity for a cooperative here, especially if we have more interest. And that could go a long way. That could go a very long way. So I'm just saying. But Region 6, you still got your service. It's just that the new owners are stalling, and technically they can be taking the task for that, because that's creating a hardship on you guys when there should be no hardship. They did that. So just to let you all know, you still got it, but they're going to have to pay for that. They're going to have to be responsible for that. So, but with all that being said, everybody, are there any other comments, any other questions? any other input, information to put on the table? And can we all commit to reaching out to others, not just people, under disability umbrella, but also family, friends, co-workers, assistants? Can we all at least reach out? And I'll send out information so that you can send it to people's phones or computers, emails, whatever. I'll send it out to your phones. And can we at least get it out, circulate it around so we can have, like was said earlier, more interest and more listeners so that we can have more input and we start really getting this rolling. So at least if we could do that, that'd be a step in the right direction, I think. And I'll start to get this campaign rolling with everything else I got on my plate. But yeah, I'll get the campaign rolling, and I'll be collaborating with you, Deborah. We'll sit down when we can, and I won't tax you. I won't take much of your time, but I'll go ahead and we'll work that out. And I'll bring everything to the table for everybody to know, and we'll have it read so everybody can hear it, and make sure that everything is solid, that everybody agrees before we do it, and then we'll set everything up, and then we'll just put it out there. We'll let the chips fall where they may.
You can send me a copy of it, right? Where I can get other people to sign it, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cause I got
once you guys approve your letter and your petition and your information to go out, then we can. Well, I know I can circulate it. I got a standing meeting every Friday, and all the people that I mentioned are on that call. So I would like to be able to forward that to them to begin to circulate for starters.
Alrighty.
I got a function coming up in December.
Okay.
So I know I got about at least 50, 60 people coming, so I can get each and every last one of them to sign it.
Excellent. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly.
Alrighty. All right, everybody. Well, if all hearts and minds are clear, I'm going to turn it over to my man, my co-host, FloFokuz. Brother, you know you got the last word. Take us out of here.
Well. Once again, everyone, what a wonderful show tonight. I just want to thank everyone for chiming in. It's always great to hear you guys talk about stuff that's, dear to your hearts. Because at the end of the day, man, who else is going to care if you don't, Like, come on. I do want to just say and encourage everyone to join prologicstrategies.com because we talk about a lot of this stuff in the public. Okay, but we have to get some private dealings going on so that we can appropriately bring a united front the way that it's supposed to be done, in business and in commerce and in community organized dealings. We have to organize appropriately. So at the end of the day, prologicstrategies.com is a great place for everyone to join up and create groups and things like that so that we can have correspondence with each other in a neutral forum so that things can kind of, get themselves rolling in different ways. So prologicstrategies.com, just click around, guys. There's so many wonderful things there. There's some music and some different things like that. So enjoy yourselves and engage. So once again, guys, I just want to say thanks and tune into us again on Friday. We'll be here ready, willing, and able to bring you some of the most wonderful entertainment you guys can expect out here. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. So take care and good night, everybody.
And take care of yourself, too.
Thank you, Miles. Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.